Welcome back to another video. It is Sunday the 5th, I think, of January, 4th of January. It is literally minus degrees here. My weather app says it feels like -6, and I can confirm that is how I feel now I've come outside. Had snow here yesterday. We literally never get snow. It's so rare we get snow anymore. But yesterday had a full-on snow day. Had like a 2-hour adventure with our dog in the woodlands right near our house and had the best time. But it's now freezing cold, and all the snow's kind of turned ice, so that's kind of rubbish. But it is cold. However, it is the final session of the block, first block post-comp, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. Training has felt good this week. Nutrition has definitely been better this week. I've also got some news on the nutrition front, but I'll probably save that for the next video, just because I don't want to talk too much in this one. But yeah, tune in for the next video for a bit of an update on my nutrition. But need to get the session done. It is so cold though, so I will be taking a bit more time making sure I'm actually really warm. Having said that, I'll probably get through the session quicker because I just don't want to sit down and get cold. I've got my hat over there in the corner as well that I need to put on and keep myself warm. That seems to be the only thing that works with keeping my core body temperature up while I'm training in the winter. So yeah, but what is the plan for today? So primary lifts on all three today. So squats, we've got ascending 4s, an RP 6, 7, and then an 8. Not going to say what my goal is for the final set. I'm not going to go crazy and push too hard today. Every time I've said that this block, I've ended up going heavier than planned. But I considered getting my boyfriend out to spot me and going for a relatively heavy set of 4. But I was like, you know what? First block post-comp, flats are now starting to feel good. Let's not go crazy. I wasn't ever going to PB today anyway because my squat's just still not quite back where it was. But I've got a rough idea of what I would like to hit, the range I'd like to be in. So we're just going to go from there. And I'm going to do my ascending sets in a way that set me up to take a pretty nice final set should I feel really good. But I can always take smaller jumps if necessary type thing. Then we have got a top double on bench at an RPE of 8. I've got an idea of what I would like to hit. I will probably get my boyfriend out to give me a lift off for that, just because I want to hit as heavy as possible on that. Currently holding quite a lot of extra body weight post-Christmas, and honestly, my, to be honest, disordered eating patterns from the past have massively come back since comp, and I've been really struggling with my nutrition, but there'll be more updates on that in the next video. So body weight is pretty high at the moment, and bench is responding well to that, unsurprisingly. So I'm going to tell myself that it's not the body weight causing bench to feel really good, but it probably is. But I've got a nice top double plan providing it all feels good. And then I've got a set of 4 in RPA as well. I think I did 105 for my set of 4 last week. So if I can beat that and hit 107-ish, that'd be really good. And then I've got 3x4 at a set load of 95 on bench. So squats and bench, really kind of looking forward to. Deadlifts, not so much looking forward to just because of the amount of work. So got a paused single on deadlifts. I hit 167 last week. This week the goal is an RPE of 8. I'm probably going to undershoot it on purpose just because Lewis is really drilling into me that I need to be as patient as possible off the floor, and I completely agree with him on that. So I just want to make sure that whatever I hit, the execution is good. I am patient. My hips keep shooting up a bit more than we want them to at the start of each lift as well. So just going to work on refining that with the pauses and see kind of where we end up. And then I've got, this is the bit I'm dreading, a set of 7 sumo at an RPE of 8. I hit 150 last week, and that was okay. It was hard by the end, but it was fine. And I think I put that down as like an RP 7. So should in theory beat that this week. However, I might end up taking it again. We'll see how I feel during the session and as things go on. And then if I hit the 155-ish range, 150 to 155, I'll then be doing 2x7 at 130. It's like a percentage drop. So depending what I load for my set of 7 at an RP of 8 will determine what my 2 lighter sets are. But I know that when I get to deadlifts on this day, I used to be really excited because sumo is still pretty new and it's going well. Now I absolutely dread the 7s, but I did ask for volume, and I know it will pay off and be worth it, but 7s suck on deadlifts. But that's fine. That's kind of all I've really got to say. I don't have tons of updates. Currently within the powerlifting world, everyone's going a little bit crazy as they normally do at the start of the year because the IPF have released some updated rules. I'm just not really paying attention, to be honest. I am a referee. I'm a national level referee for anyone that doesn't know. And I do always find that people come to me when there's rule changes and ask me for clarity on things. And the way the rules have been written is very much down to interpretation of each individual ref, which obviously rules shouldn't be like that. But my approach, anytime new rules are brought in, because I'm not reffing for at least a couple of months, it's very much, let's just see how things are enforced at the first big meet of the year, which is Sheffield, and we'll go from there. And I've said that to a lot of my athletes who've kind of been panicking, and I think there's a lot of like fear mongering whenever there's rule changes, and people are very quick to criticize them, but I'm not going to say my opinion on them because honestly, there's some that I think are silly and not been very well addressed by the IPF, but also it's just not worth me even really thinking about. Sports have rules, and yeah, I'm not going to go into my opinions on it. But I have got a lot of athletes that are kind of panicking, and I think a lot of people criticising the rules online, which some of these criticisms are completely fair, are creating a bit of panic amongst the community, especially with lifters that maybe don't know quite so much or aren't referees themselves and stuff like that. And I've had a lot of people basically come to me, both my own lifters and other lifters that I know of, and they've been asking me for opinions on things and whether I think they need to change what they're doing. And I'm like, do not panic and change anything right now. Unless you, like with the new bench press rule, where you're not allowed, I can't remember how they worded it, thrusting of the upper body basically, and it's like the manipulation of the upper body to sink. Until we see how that's refed at Sheffield, because we know there's people at Sheffield that rule was basically brought in because of /for, there's no point panicking. And basically my answer to people that have asked me how I'm going to be reffing it is I'm just going to see how it's enforced at the first big meet of the year, / the second or third, depending on when the meets are. And go from there, basically. So, yeah, that's probably all I'll say on the rule changes, because it's just not worth stressing over. Not right now, anyway, because a lot of the time as well, new rules get brought in and then they just suddenly get taken out of the rule book as if nothing ever happened. So that could also happen. I'm going to stop talking, going to start warming up, and let's see how this first end of block post-comp and first heavy session or heavy session of 2026 goes.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, it's been a long time. Yeah. This is how, getting down. Yeah. Hey. This is how, I'll be getting down, This is how. It is really done, they can't figure out. They don't understand, so they want me down and out. Hey. We ain't going out like that, we ain't going out like that. Watch me go and bounce right back. Down for the count, but the hound strike back. It get like that, I don't wanna hear it, but you hit me right back. They talking, they told me take the L and move on. Heard it from somebody who's been taking L's their whole life. I don't know what you want, passive when they play you. Expect the best from people like there's nothing they can do wrong. Seen this movie way too many times to be the fool for you to chew on. Nah, I'm not complaining, but there's things I can improve on. Why would I fight and retreat and not study and sleep and recover to be able to smother you? Enough for those, I'm going ghost and I'm up to something. Or maybe I'm up to my wits' ends with all of your stiff trends. I'm sick of the system. I'm not into religion, I need something higher and bigger to fix this. Brothers, sisters betray me that I never wrong. Over here it's all solid, this isn't a prism. This isn't a prison. This is free. This is fiction. Listen, I made a bunch of merch, and as soon as I recouped on my expenses, I gave away every other shirt. Good heart, I guess that's why I never finished first. But it's time I put the business first. Cause we ain't going out like that. We ain't going out like that. Watch me go and bounce right back. Cause we ain't going out like that, no. We ain't going out like that. We ain't going out like that. Watch me go and bounce right back. We ain't going out like that. We ain't going out like that. We ain't going out like that. Watch me go and bounce right back. I guess some things never change. Like my pops being stuck in his ways. If you hear me, just know that you didn't die in vain. Just if you didn't have a sun, then there'd never be a rain. Never be a rain. We ain't going out like that.
Okay, very, very out of breath, so excuse any heavy breathing that is about to take place. I've literally just put my last set, or the bar down from my last set of deadlifts. We'll say this again, say this every week. Deadlift sevens suck, but this session went a lot better than I thought it was going to. So going in, I was expecting to have a really good session. Did the session meet my expectations? Not fully, but when I started warming up for squats, things just did not feel great. My planned ascending fours, I was hoping to do roughly 160, 170, 180. 185 for four is my best ever set of four, but it was like an RP 10, and that was a long time ago when squats were, well, it was about this time last year when squats were at their absolute best. And we are still rebuilding to that. And I had spotters and I was in a good environment for that. Like obviously at home alone, it's not going to be the same. So I'm very out of breath still, but I want to get in because it's freezing. But I decided to take slightly different jumps. So I was like, okay, well, realistically 180 for four was going to be absolute top end today if I felt unbelievably good. So I was like, okay, I'd like to hit at least 175 for my final set of four. So I was like, okay, if I do 155, 167, then I have the option to jump to 180 if I feel fantastic, but if not, I can jump a little bit smaller. Even if I did like 172, 175, we'll sort of see how I feel. And when I did the 155 for four, I didn't film it on my camera. I filmed it on my phone just to watch it back. 155 for four, awful. Like it was fine. Like I'm not going to fail 155 at this point. That's nothing to me. But it didn't feel or move as if it was nothing to me. My bracing was completely off. I think my belt was just slightly wrong and I had a little bit too tight and it just felt awful. And I was like, maybe if I just do 165 for my next set, and if that moves quite badly, I'll just cap it at 165 and only do 2 ascending sets of 4. Like that's how badly the 155 moved. But I had a bit of a word with myself. And I was like, just load 167, because if it does end up being an RP8 instead of a 7 like the target, oh well, leave it there, fine, not a problem. But the 167, I kind of switched on a little bit more and it did move pretty well. Not amazing, but pretty well. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go to 175 because I know I can do that. And it was just like a steady set. Like the 175 for four wasn't super quick, but also wasn't super slow. It was just very steady from rep to rep. I just took my time, got my bracing correct, just kept confident basically. And that is definitely the best rep set I've done in a long time. So I'm not mad at it. I then had 160 for a set load, set of 5 after as a back off set. And it was so hard. It wasn't actually hard watching it back, but it just felt horrible. And I had the same thing with my set load back off set last week. So I'm not too mad about it. Then I moved on to bench and I actually got through the whole session in an hour and a half. And I expected this session to take me over 2 hours, like on a normal day, just because I want to make sure it goes as well as possible. But because it's so cold, it was just go, go, go. So bench, won't lie, felt awful from the get-go. 70 felt okay, like it normally does. My first warm-up, shouldn't feel bad. 90 did not feel good. Second warm-up, same as always, felt pretty terrible. And I was warm, but I think the cold air just made it so it was impossible for me to get truly warm. And like my shoulders just felt, like the joints felt cold, like it didn't feel great. And no matter what I did, nothing really helped. And I couldn't not bench in my sports bra because it's so cold that in my comp t-shirt, even with chalk on my back, because there is literally like no sweat because of how cold it is, I just wasn't sticking at all. So I decided to just go in my sports bra so I could hold position as well as possible. Had the heater on me, but it didn't really make a difference. I did 107.5 as my like second from last warm-up. The plan was to do 112 as my last warm-up, so that it gave me the option of jumping to 117 if I felt amazing, 115 if not, and 115 is as a PB double. Like last week I hit 112 and it moved incredibly well. I definitely felt a lot better last week than this week on bench, but 112 as a last warm-up. So 107.5 basically wasn't quick. But when it moved quick, visually, super fast, felt pretty trash. So I was like, okay, I'll do 112. I'll film 112. And then if the first rep is hard, I'll just do my double at 112. But the first rep was fine. Like it didn't feel easy, but I was like, no, I can do more than this for a double. I just need to lock in. So I just went to 115, just took a PB, and I was actually pretty happy with it. The second rep was hard, but it was supposed to be an RP8, and I feel like an 8 on bench is supposed to be hard. Like, you know, that doesn't make much sense. Let's just move on. I'm too out of breath to think. Anyway, hit a PB double on bench, so happy with that. And then I did 107.5 for 4. That was also hard, but it was fine. And then like everything was kind of on RPE basically. And the double was maybe slightly above, but it doesn't really matter. It's the end of the block in this bench, so it's fine. Moving on to deadlifts. I am really trying to work on the wedge at the bottom rather than sitting into it as much. And this is something that Lewis and I have been kind of like trying to drill in for a while, but it's just in the moment, I almost like forget and panic and just sit into it. So today I was extra conscious of that. And actually, I think the pause single at 175 moved better than I could have hoped for, especially because my warm-up before that was 165, and that wasn't super good. Like, it was quick visually, but it didn't feel good. So basically the theme of today is nothing felt good. But the 175 I was happy with, and to end the block there, I'm not mad. And then I nearly loaded 150 and matched last week's set of 7. Like, I was this close. I think it was like literally at the last second I put the 2.5s on to do 155. Because I'm pretty sure 155 for 7 is a PB, regardless of stance. I'd be surprised if I've ever done that conventional. And if I have, it wouldn't have been for a really, really long time. 155 for 7, it got sticky towards the end, but it's going to. It's more that my legs were just on fire, which is a great sign because it shows that I'm using my legs and not my back for sumo. But yeah, the 155 for 7, actually, I think it felt better than my 7s did the last couple of weeks as well. I think I just locked in that little bit more. And it moved well. Like, I'm really happy with it, actually. Like, visually, it's not the prettiest, but I don't think my sumo is ever going to be the prettiest. Like, I'm not particularly well built for any style of deadlifting. But it felt good. My legs were on fire, so that's a really good sign. And then I had 2x7 at 130 that I didn't film. But it was super comfortable, fine, not a problem. Just literally me getting out of breath, as you can probably tell. So that is a recap of my final session of the first block post-comp. Overall, I can literally see my breath as I'm talking. Overall, I'm really happy with the session. Like, considering nothing felt amazing, couldn't have really asked for more. I ended with 175 for 4 on squats, 115 double, which is a PB on bench, and then 175 pause single on sumo, as well as 155 for 7. So not bad. Can't complain, especially because like externals haven't been fully locked in this block. Let's be honest, we've had Christmas, my diet's been terrible. I've slipped into some really like bad eating habits and stuff that I kind of got my way out of, but they've definitely kind of crept back in lately. And considering all of that, and the sleep's not been the best the last few nights either, it's been very broken and I've been struggling to get back to sleep in the middle of the night. Considering all these things, could not have asked for more. And I think it's a really good start to the year. And I can tell like squats coming back now that I've kind of got back into flats and gotten used to being in flats again. I think my squat is going to come back and we're going to see some big PBs as the year goes on. And I'm not going to rush them. I'm not going to just chase numbers. Like, I'm going to just enjoy what I'm doing, stick to the plan, and hopefully hit something very good when I next step on the platform, which still undecided when that's going to be, which is usually at the start of the year I have an exact plan of what I want to do. But this year it's been very strange. Like, not like I have a rough idea of roughly when I'll compete, but no real plan in place. And like, I've not set any goals, like New Year's resolution type goals for this year either. Like, people keep asking me because I've been having a lot of conversations with clients, but also with friends and stuff about goals for the year. And like, obviously with clients, that's something we kind of reflect on quite a lot. A lot of them do. And it's like, well, they've all been asking me kind of what my goals are. And other than cutting into my weight class, just from like a health perspective, but also just like get my setting point a little bit lower, which I'll talk about more in another video, I don't really have any particular goals. Like, I've got kind of business kind of goals I would like to hit this year, but I'm not setting specific goals. I've kind of just given myself almost like non-negotiables that I have to do to help me get to where I want to be. And that's how I've approached it this year, a lot more than just chasing down specific things. Like, I've actually just put like a plan in place for things. But in terms of business-wise, I actually did that a few months ago. So for the new year, it's more just keep doing these things that you're doing. So yeah, I'm in a good position. Excited for the training year and to see what we can bring to the platform. Like, I PB went over by 2.5 last year. Like, that's not enough. Training reflected more than that. I'm excited to bring it to the platform at some point, probably in the summer. But for now, I'm literally just trying to find the joy in training, trying to dial in my nutrition in a way that's kind of sustainable and healthy for me and get these bad habits gone and yeah, just have fun. And yeah, I think for me as well, like the biggest thing, kind of like I said last year at this point, is just like business growth for me is just really important. And I want to just make sure I'm doing the absolute best that I can as a coach and just continue establishing myself within that. So that's kind of all I'm aiming for this year, which they're not really specific goals. Basically, just want to keep going is the plan. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to wrap the video up here. I want to get in the warm because it is freezing. Thank you if you've made it to the end. I really appreciate it. If you want to leave your goals in the comments, if you have any, if you've set any for this year, then please do. But leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in a few days for the next video.
We ain't going out like that. We ain't going out like that. Watch me go and bounce right back. We ain't going out like that.